This episode is sponsored by Bluehost. You're an ideas person, and when inspiration strikes, it strikes fast. Shouldn't your web hosting keep up? When shared hosting isn't enough, Bluehost's advanced solutions scale with your website, business, and your ideas, no matter how bold. With NVMe storage, built-in security, and enhanced CPU power, sites load faster and handle more data than ever before. Bluehost's advanced hosting keeps you online and growing. So go ahead, keep those ideas flowing. Shop plans now at bluehost.com.
Most website owners don't think about security until something breaks. A malware infection, a DDoS attack, a blacklisted domain, or a customer asking why their website suddenly disappeared from Google. But today's guest has spent years building the systems designed to stop those problems before they even happen. You're listening to WP Legends, where we talk to the builders, operators, and innovators shaping the future of WordPress and the open web. I'm Gautam Khurana, host of the show. Mark Buxko is currently the Chief Product Officer at BitNinja and Phantom Guard. For all those who don't know, Phantom Guard is a new WordPress security platform focused on DDoS protection, malware detection, CDN shielding, and site hardening. Mark has extensive experience in this space, having spent more than 6 years at BitNinja Security, where he progressed from customer success manager to product manager, and ultimately to CPO. What's interesting is that Mark's journey gives him a very rare perspective. He's seen WordPress security from the support side, the product side, and now from the leadership side. And on a personal note, at Seahawk Media, we actually installed BitNinja on one of our servers while evaluating security solution. It worked flawlessly. And one thing that immediately stood out was how clean and easy the dashboard was compared to many other security tools on the market. So I'm excited to learn more. And we have a lot to uncover here, Mark. So welcome to WP Legends.
Thank you so much. I'm Mark Buxko. And as he mentioned, I started at BitNinja more than 6 years ago, actually. The customer success part came in first, and then I guess back then we were just on the verge of scaling up. That's when we got the seed funding and the Series A, and so we suddenly became a much bigger team, and so that's how I came to the company as a result of that, because they needed somebody to take care of customer support and customer care, basically. And that's how I came to BitNinja. I started there, and then I think like 2 years after that, I moved on to more leaning into the product things, because I started liking it a lot. And my managers at the time, they have also seen the potential to move me forwards. And then that's how the product management came to be for me. And then it instantly clicked. So we started with a small team, just with UI, UX, and the developer. And we worked together on bringing out the newest dashboard that basically you interact with right now for BitNinja. And then from there, we started picking up more and more people into the team, where it suddenly became almost all of the company is now in my team.
Got it.
So
tell me, for my customers here, agencies, other hosters, etc., who is BitNinja for, and what exactly does it do, in your words?
Okay, there's a very good story, because how BitNinja came to be in the first place is the CEO and founder, George. He basically started a hosting company from his dorm room in high school years, basically. And it started very small, right? Just for friends, some websites here and there. But then it suddenly became more and more popular, because he started advertising a bit in newspapers and whatnot. And then new customers came on, they got onboarded. And as the company grew, both in revenue and both in customers, he started to realize that, hey, something is not right, because he was getting constantly hacked websites, attacking IPs. His servers were getting hammered with DOS and DDoS connections, which basically led to a very bad place to be, because he wanted to scale up, because he realized there's money to be made, there's customers to be had, right? But he couldn't because he couldn't afford new hardware. So he looked into like, hey, what can I do about this? First thing, of course, he went to was open source. But the problem with that for him was that he couldn't really find a mix of tools that worked for his use case specifically. Like, of course, there were some earlier open source tools that worked. Right, sure, you can solve some of the problems there, but his problem was that whenever, like, let's say he had a technical support at the time, one person, his friend, was helping him basically with this. And then the problem was that he couldn't really teach him how to maintain, how to remove an IP or block an IP or something, right? So when his phone was ringing at 3 a.m., he didn't want to deal with it, right?
Of course.
So that's when he started to look into like more enterprise solutions, but the price was just not justified for the revenue he was making. Okay. So then he said, hey, why don't I just make something for my hosting business? And then he started coding BitNinja. Basically, he started with the IP reputation module. So he started to work out a system where, hey, if an IP does this or this or that, then it will get blocked on my server at the edge level, basically. For him, it was. And then he told about this to one of his friends who was also into hosting, but in a different company. And then he said, like, hey, we could also try it in our network, and share some information. And that's where the whole idea came to be. And then he basically launched the website, he launched the idea, and then he had people sign up for like a whitelist or like a wait list, more like. And then when he reached, I think, like 500 to 600 registrations, he realized that, hey, there is a huge potential. For this. Yeah. So then he launched the first version of BitNinja. He wanted to initially call it Heimdall, but when he was on the way to a conference to market it, he realized like 10 minutes before takeoff with the plane that the name is taken already by another security company. So that's how they came out with the name BitNinja on the plane, on the flight to a conference. So that was also very funny. So they had to change all of the materials basically that they brought. But anyways, and since then he started to use it on his own, and many other customers started to use it, and then they realized that, hey, this whole shared defense network between the servers work properly, and that's where our strengths come in, because there are very few solutions that basically share security intelligence between the nodes that it's installed on. And that's what BitNinja shines in, and that's where BitNinja comes in from.
Got it. So can I safely say, and I'm trying to learn this and understand this, the more BitNinja is installed globally on servers across other hosting companies, etc., the smarter and better it becomes? Is that how it works?
Yep, that's actually how it works. So we call it a hive mind, or like a defense network type of things, because how it works is that once we see an attacking IP on one of the servers, we will just mark it like, hey, this is potentially malicious, but obviously we are not trying to push it to every server just yet. So we are waiting for that IP to either do much more malicious stuff on that user's servers, or if we see that, hey, this attacked the user in Japan and this also attacked the user in Costa Rica, then that cannot be just a random coincidence, right? So what we see, if it tries to attack multiple things at once or like in a close fashion, then maybe say, hey, this should be stopped globally. So that's when our automated systems basically push it to the global level, and then it gets blocked. This also works with, of course, malware signatures and all the good stuff.
Got it. And tell me, because there's some amazing players in the market, like Monarchs, Patstack, Immunify, there's so many others, if I think about it. I won't use the word how are you different, but what is that BitNinja shines at, as compared to other malware solutions in the market?
Yeah. Yes, so it's important to say that BitNinja is much more than just malware, right? So
Okay.
BitNinja, of course, we do protect against malicious files and injected files and whatnot, but BitNinja has 15 other modules as well. So what we think our strength is that we are an all-in-one, one-stop shop security solution for hosters or like tinkerers even, or somebody who just wants some security for their server because they want to open it to the internet, basically. And the biggest strength is that BitNinja can be managed the same way if you have one server or if you have 1,000 servers. It doesn't matter, because we have worked since the beginning with the mindset that, hey, hosting providers need an easy way to deal with this, because of course you have to train your technical staff to deal with it for you eventually. So it must be easy, it must be simple to use, and it must serve all of the functionalities in a safe way. And since we like to trust the people that will interact with BitNinja, we also enable them to go hardcore mode. So basically they get configurations and they can do anything they want to precisely set, like, hey, this is how I want it to be. But they also have the option to just go like an autopilot mode, basically, where BitNinja will figure everything out for itself, and then they don't really have to interact with it. So it's up to the user, and this is, I think, where our strength comes in, that we have been on the other side as well. And not just the securing side, but also the receiving side that gets hammered and woken up.
Good point. I must say, like, I was personally, I found you guys, when I was doing some research, etc. Got the module, the free trial, installed it in one of our servers. Got my team involved, etc. But I was looking at the dashboard, and it's keeps spiking up. 1,000 malware thing protected, 10,000 protected, etc. It's nice to see, and obviously it does the job also, because ever since we installed in that server, which was getting infected, I won't name who was there before, but when we replaced with BitNinja, it actually worked, and it's not been affected till now. In over, I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks since the trial is going on, since I met you 4 weeks ago. So just being here, honestly, like literally, like for now, is working flawlessly, and my team hasn't said a peep to me. So yeah, kudos to you and your team for doing an incredible job.
I'm always glad to hear.
But tell me something, and this is a funny one. 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, when BitNinja, you were the part of the company, etc., there was no AI, and the landscape was completely different. And then ChatGPT came, and the landscape changed completely. Now it's changing every day, every week, every month. Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you think is going the malware? Is it becoming easier? It is becoming tough? What's happening with malware?
Oh yeah. Well, the honest truth is, I think that just as much as AI is helping you on fighting against it, it's the same amount on the attacking side as well, if not more, because the attackers will basically just go and use their own models, or like their bypass models that let them do malicious stuff, right? And they have much more time on their hands, and then let's say a security provider who is trying to deal with malware, but also trying to keep up with IPv6, with other stuff. So the problem is that it became so easy and accessible to make a malicious file or a malicious program that anybody can just think of an idea like, hey, maybe what if I try to infect this and get some money out of them or whatever, that they can just go home and do it in like half an hour. And obviously that will be like a low sophistication attack, right? It will be just simple, but it opens a door, I think, that was much harder to open before. Because of course you could always find the information online, you could always search for it, go on, but now it's just you type a question and it will let you know instantly what you have to do, how you can achieve it, right? And the thing is that on the defending side, what we have seen is that while AI can speed things up, it cannot solve things reliably. What I mean by that is that, of course, it can help us make a decision like, hey, this is malicious or it's not malicious. But you wouldn't want AI to make a decision on all of the files and then just say, yep, I trust that. Because it has a very hard time, especially with newer, more sophisticated malware, where it's encoded or expecting a key to unlock it. Basically, with those files, it will have no idea if it's just an encrypted plugin for WordPress or a malicious file that's encrypted, right? So it is very hard for it to know the difference, and that's why we have tried commercial models, we have tried half commercial models, but we are working on our own solution instead and training our own module actually, because we didn't find a solution that worked properly. So the thing is that we have a lot of data, since we see billions of files each day and each week. We have a lot of data that we can work with and use to train our own specific model to help us make a decision. But I don't see that it becoming like the only source of information for us, like in the next 2-3 years. It definitely helps. It definitely helps we have a threat management team, and it definitely helps their work to speed things up that previously took them an hour to check a file, for example, deeply, but now it takes them 15 minutes. So it's speeding things up, but it's not replacing them. If that
Good
makes
perspective.
sense.
Yeah, I keep on wondering also, especially my perspective is like now because of AI, obviously it takes still a lot of time and it's a lot of pain, but you can, ship out non-WordPress stuff very quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's leading to the rise of the hosting companies like Vercel, Netlify, people are doing things with Superbase and stuff like that. I've been too. That's how I even know these names. I didn't even know about them till the time Claude
Yeah.
Code happened. Okay. But I wonder, where the WordPress landscape is heading. Okay, everybody has their own perspectives, but still, it's 40-ish% of the internet and improving a lot. You just came back from WordCamp Europe, and I could not go, unfortunately, but I saw pictures on LinkedIn of my friends and everybody,
Yep.
and like it was a massive, massive show. So of course, the WordPress
Yep.
team is doing an exceptional job. But in your words, what's going to happen to WordPress in the next 2 to 3 years? Is it going to stay stagnant, go up, down? Any prediction?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that
Wrong
I don't
answers
see
only.
WordPress.
Wrong
Yeah,
answers
sorry?
only. Wrong
Yeah,
answers only.
yeah.
Sorry, go
So
ahead.
I don't speak. I don't see WordPress disappearing in 2 years. Right. That's not gonna happen. But I think WordPress was built for a very different type of internet, if that makes sense. So back in the day when WordPress came to be, and it's a beautiful project, right? It makes a lot of sense how to use it. But if I tell my wife like, hey, you want a website, right? You want to run a small shop or just sell whatever, candles, whatever, right? She will not go and try to install WordPress, figure out which plugins she would need to do that. She would just go and say, ask ChatGPT or Perplexity, whatever, and just ask them, hey, how can I make this website? There are two ways. Either ChatGPT will make it for her, or the other one is that it will just recommend, hey, you can use this or this or this product.
True.
So for like the newcomer's perspective, I think it's just so much easier to go the AI route rather than the WordPress route, that no amount of AI agents within WordPress can help it, because they don't even get through the door with WordPress, is what I see at least, or what I think will happen, because it just lowers the barrier. Previously, if you wanted to install WordPress, you would have to have at least some technical knowledge. No matter if it's just the best hoster in the world who makes it like a one click, you would still have to know what even WordPress is. Like, how do I log in, whatever. But that's not there with the AI site builders. So that's what I think the biggest hassle is, or like the biggest hurdle for WordPress is, that it would have to basically completely rebuild itself as like how you can interact with this, how you can edit this, how you can make this work. And I don't think just an AI chatbot within WordPress can solve that.
I think so also. I think from my perspective, and I've said this before also, if you envision your project, okay, going up to let's say 20 pages or 50 pages in the next year or two, or it's gonna stay like that, don't even think about anything but WordPress. All you need is pretty decent hosting, managed WordPress hosting, or or maybe a hosting which is powered by BitNinja, for example, or and no plugin bloat. Most of the people, they ruin their websites because they there's a lot of plugin load, and you should be fine. You won't even need to hire companies like Seahawk Media to manage your maintenance and care services, with maintenance and care. But my point is that I think there's going to be an increase in demand. You know why? Because I read somewhere and I saw somewhere the other day, it was Sundar Pichai from Google, maybe, or it was Satya Nadella from Microsoft, I forget. Okay, but they said there was a research that the number of people wanting to start businesses, okay, the number of entrepreneurs are growing at a pace never seen in human history. That means that people want to start businesses. Now, whether it's a digital business or a physical business, the first thing what they need is a brand name, a domain, and a website, right? So I think there's going to be increase in demand for everything, for WordPress also, for headless applications like Next.js, Astro, etc. as well, and that's what I feel. But again, could be wrong.
Yeah, no, you do have a very good point. Like, I think if somebody's technical, they will, of course, they might create like a website with Lovable or another platform like this, and then just say, yeah, sure, it looks cool, right? Maybe they will start with that. But when they need to have like 5, 4, 6, 7 of that, but with different stuff, then they will not create all of those there. Then they will just go back to WordPress if they are technical enough.
Yeah.
But also from like from somebody's perspective who I started with WordPress when I was a kid, right? But English isn't my native language, so it was hard for me to understand what's really going on. But I could figure out, hey, I need a plugin to do this because I wanted to do something, right? But then I installed WordPress. I had it on my little website, little shared hosting, basically. But the problem was that I had to buy everything I needed to do. Okay, I wanted to edit this. Sure, you can edit it the hard way, which will take you like days, because of course it would be hard for me to understand what's going on. Or you could pay X amount of money and that it will let you do it easier.
Yeah.
And then you go on the next day, oh, it would be cool to have a gallery. Okay, that will be $2, right? And I think the issue is, and I might be speaking against myself here, the issue is that with the newest AI agents and AI developing sites, that you don't have this. You want a gallery? Sure, type in your question, you have a gallery. You want a new new menu style? Sure, here you go, right?
Yeah.
So you don't need this, but this kind of connects to the plugin bloating that I think WordPress users only know that if they need something, there's probably a plugin for it, right?
Yes, true.
But but you shouldn't have a plugin to make a redirection. You shouldn't have a plugin to change the button color, right? So yeah, I think this is where it comes in. So if techie users keep using it with minimal plugins, but the non-techies will go to the AI sites, I think that's where we are heading right now, or that's what it shapes out to be.
I think so also. I think so. I think that's going to happen. Anyways, let's switch gears to Phantom Guard. Okay. And I looked into it. My team installed it on a couple of sites also. Care to enlighten our audiences what's it about and why did BitNinja decide to introduce this to the world?
Of course. Yeah, so here's another plugin you can install in WordPress. But yeah, so the thing is that Phantom Guard is providing your WordPress site security. And the way we achieve that is we will provide you CDN with WAF and malware solution and hardening. And also we are in the works of coming up with a sort of backup solution where if you get infected despite of your measurements, because let's say your credentials got leaked, whatever, then you can have a safe state to roll back to, basically. So as to not break your website, of course. But why we came up with Phantom Gun in the first place is we have to rewind time a little bit. So our first child product of BitNinja was called Site Protection, and Site Protection was basically a result of us realizing that our customers are the hosting providers, but their customers have no idea what they are paying for when they pay for BitNinja, for example. So we had the realization like, hey, it would be cool to show their users that their protection is working, their website has been blocking whatever number of attacks, and we have found malware and stuff like this. And this was the core idea. But the problem with this was that it needed BitNinja on the servers themselves. So you could only show what BitNinja could do if, of course, BitNinja was present on the machine. And this was a hard area to go into, because if you think that this is the hosting industry, right? It's a full cake. Part of it will be Windows, the other part of it will be Linux, but like a different flavor, so you can't really run BitNinja on it, or it's a huge enterprise where it's not feasible. So then the slice of cake that you can still sell your server security solution to became a very small piece from the big cake, right? But with that, Site Protection is making it even smaller, because you are trying to take, website owners, but they have to have BitNinja. It has to be like a shared hosting to work properly, right? So there's only very few people who you can sell this to, or like give this to. So we still have this functionality within BitNinja, but it's given away for free to anybody with BitNinja. So if they want to, they can give their users the ability to go to the dashboard. And this is the same idea, but we have realized that with a WordPress plugin, we didn't have to deal with, you need BitNinja and blah, 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 because it's just so much easier to just have a standalone plugin that can do everything by itself, rather than leaning on BitNinja to do the functionality. So that's what it became to be. And we looked at the market and realized that, hey, there's not a real single solution that you just install, and it gives you both the CDN and the malware and the hardening. Or if there is a solution, it costs you an arm and a leg. So you have to make a trade-off when your website costs you like $10 a month, but then security would cost like $500 in a year, right?
I'm going to pull up the page because there's a lot of features here, and this is definitely really exciting. But explain just for my recap, and for my audiences, to make sure the protection is full, you need to go into the domain register and do something, DNS or something. If you can just jog my memory.
Absolutely. Yes. So the way Phantom Guard works is that we have the WAF, CDN, and DDoS protection all in one. So for that, you would need to modify your domain name's DNS servers to ours, because we have looked into multiple solutions how you would be able to make this happen, but the DNS, changing your DNS servers is the most trustworthy way of doing this, that it basically will result you having DDoS protection and the CDN and the WAF. So why it helps you as a customer is, first of all, you are protected against DDoS flat out. So you don't have to worry about getting DDoS by a competitor or your enemy, whatever.
Yep.
Second of all, it will provide you CDN, which helps you basically utilize our infrastructure to provide a cached version of your website. So it can speed up loading, but it also helps because it's also geolocated. So let's say you are in Japan, but your one visitor is coming from the USA. So that visitor will be served by USA servers to give you the fastest response with the caches, and then the rest that cannot be cached will come from your
I
server
see.
at the
I
end of the
see.
day. But it speeds things up and it makes a much better
But that's why
way of doing this.
that's why in your one of your line items, which I just was sharing, is WordFence plus Cloudflare. What it would do combined, you are doing the same job with just one simple plugin for a
Exactly.
much lower price, basically, right?
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah. So
interesting.
if you come to our website right now, you will see that Phantom God currently is for free
for
because
one
as
site for everybody for 1 year, right? Not bad.
yes, because Gautam mentioned that look, this is a new product, right? So we need more users and more feedback from users to understand what people would need, how we can improve things. So this is the sale we came up with, that you can install it. It's free for a year with all functionalities, so premium CDN, premium WAF, DDoS protection, all the good stuff, basically. And then our introductory pricing will change to $5 per month, basically. So that's still like magnitudes lower than what
A small price
premium.
for the a great product, I would say. And since you are
Yeah,
confident about your product, you're giving it a year for free. That's confidence, I must say. I must say you have you
thank
must
you.
be doing something right.
Yeah. We have spent a considerable amount of time working it out, and since
I know my
it's
team is
yeah,
installed in I think on 2 or 3 websites already. I think my team, and I will give you honest, brutal, good, bad, ugly, whatever the feedback is in a few weeks from now.
please
So
do. Yeah,
yes, we are
please do,
connected on
please do,
Slack. So
absolutely.
we are connected on Slack with your team.
We
So we'll
can't run away.
yes, but I'm pretty sure that it will do really well. My team have figured a way out as to how to explain to the customers about that and the CDN and stuff like that. So I think they'll figure
Yep.
it out. So yeah, so best of luck to you for Phantom Guard. I'm pretty sure and to all of my viewers again, check it out. Go to the website, download the license. It's free. For a year. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. It's as simple as that. So, oh
Exactly.
yeah, one more thing. Will the support system work? How does support team works? If somebody has a question, if there's a conflict of plugins, is it like a same day reply time, next day? How's your team structured, by the way?
Yeah. Okay. So currently, since we are still just close knit, the support team for BitNinja is also handling Phantom God because it's essentially
Of
the
course.
same underlying malware engine and stuff like that. So they have all the knowledge right now to solve their problems. And for now, the support team is trying to have a same day response, but during normal work hours, so where we have 3 support guys working on this. Then during those times, you can expect a response within an hour maximum. Out
Pretty
of
cool.
those, it may be a few hours, but we are trying to keep it as low as possible.
Got it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'd like to mention to everybody here, let's install it and figure it out. If you're stuck,
Yep.
open a ticket.
Absolutely.
You have nothing to lose. You're absolutely, especially agencies. Like, listen, agencies are always looking for good plugins, good solutions, and stuff like that. Like, just install it and test it out. That's the best way. Anyways, before we come up on time,
Absolutely.
I have some fun, interesting rapid fire questions for you. Okay. Now, you work so closely with hosting companies also, right? In your words, what separates good hosts from great hosts? I'm going to ask this
Okay,
question
that's
a
a
lot of
tough one.
people. Yeah, I know. I'm going to ask this
Yeah.
question a lot of people now.
Okay. That's a tough one, I think. I have a very good friend. They are a hoster in Switzerland, and I would say that from that experience, what they do differently than others that I see that works for them very, very well is premium product at a reasonable price, but not cheap. So like it's not the cheapest host, but it's a reasonable price. But they give insanely good support. Like if one of their customers, let's say, have a Black Friday sale, right? They will make sure that Black Friday sale will not get interrupted no matter what. So if let's say he gives them a heads up, like, oh yeah, we have it from Friday to Sunday, whatever. then they will make sure that they have like a support guy 24/7 ready. If something goes wrong, he's there to fix it as soon as possible. And I think this is a lot of what makes them a very great great hoster, because customers can just trust them. And I swear, one time he sent me a post that somebody was having technical difficulties with BitNinja, right, on Reddit. And I was, just out of curiosity, I went on Reddit and I tried to look anything about them that was like, hey, this hoster is not good, I'm having problems, blah, blah, blah. I didn't find a single ticket. So in my eyes, if you don't find anything bad said about you on Reddit, that means you are doing something very well.
Yeah, but nowadays people are brutal on LinkedIn also, and Instagram.
Yeah.
And
LinkedIn as well. Yeah, no.
You're right, actually.
Yeah.
You're right. When it comes to scalability and stuff like that, and even then you can maintain incredibly good support, and you don't have to go through AI chat, which is annoying nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah. If I can go to any website, host, not host, whatever, and if I can go on a live chat, I hate calls for any support. Okay, but live chat, if I can get to a human immediately, I know that company is doing something exceptional, right?
That's absolutely correct. Yes, and we do have a live chat with BitNinja, so
Okay.
you're lucky to have. But yeah. I completely agree. I hate AI chatbots.
I know. Anyways, and if you could personally solve one problem in the WordPress ecosystem tomorrow, a magic wand, what would you do? What would you choose?
One problem.
One thing, one problem, one thing, whatever.
One thing, one problem. Okay. Well, it would be very. I think how plugins work, if that could be changed into a more intuitive way where you could say like, hey, I just want my website to be easy to edit, and it could be simply erased, that you don't need 5 plugins for this. You would just go in, do it, and then be happy with it. That would, I think, solve why I also chose many times to go with the AI route and not just WordPress natively. So I think that's a very, very difficult thing to convey what I mean by that. But
I know.
But yeah.
I think a lot of people have their own perspectives. From my side, it's just like make the dashboard super easy, super simple.
Yep.
Maybe like a Wix or a Shopify. I don't know why it doesn't happen. It's so easy, right? Like, but maybe it's difficult for a reason, so that agencies can thrive and survive. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that makes sense.
And the final thing I'll ask you is, like, any freelancer, AGs, anybody starting out on a website on a budget, let's say $100 maximum, $100. What practical advice would you give to them if somebody's on a low budget and wants the best of malware, speed, etc.?
Oh yeah. So they are on WordPress, right? Just to make things okay. Yeah. So on WordPress, look, I will obviously say Phantom Guard, but I say it with a reason, because even if it's not free anymore, you have to pay for it. It's still the best bang for the buck. Other than this, just do your due diligence. Look into what needs to be done on WordPress to make it secure, what you have to do, what you shouldn't do. Don't name your admin user admin with the password admin123. So do the basic stuff, right? And then on top of this, look for a good host with a fair pricing. Try to avoid hosts that has bandwidth limitations and whatnot, because those are the small gotchas, I think, when you're starting out, that you don't really think, oh, I will probably have enough bandwidth with that, or like enough traffic quota, whatever. Don't do that. Try to make sure that you have unlimited or like near unlimited stuff. Just go do that, and then the rest of the money that you still have, I guess, buy yourself a good beer and then start working on the website. Like,
I agree. Good advice. Good advice. On that note, we'll end the show. Thank you so much for being on WP Legends, Mark. It was great hosting you today, and catch you on Slack. We have a lot to discuss.
Yep.
Work.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.